Shamar, I want to talk about you. You were born on the 16th of March 1997 in Kingston, Jamaica. So tell me a bit about what it was like growing up there in Kingston.
You know, in Jamaica, it's like the same like Africa. You know, like basically the same with the culture, how they grow up. You can see like, you know, difficulty in the neighborhood. And, you know, there it was difficult. It was, but it was joyful, you know, as kid growing up, you know, we enjoy a lot, you know, because, you know, we got a lot of things to do that we find joy in, you know, like even football on the streets and all these things, you know. Yeah.
Jamaica, we associate with sprinters, obviously Usain Bolt. Also cricket, Courtney Walsh, Chris Gale come from there, for example. Maybe less so football. So how and why did you get into football? I mean, you're too young to remember the Reggae Boyz team, right, that got to the 1998 World Cup. But did they leave a legacy?
Yes, definitely leave a legacy, you know, because up to now, the people, they still speak about 98 World Cup. You know, this was the first time and the last time, this was the first time Jamaica go to World Cup and we've never been up until now, you know. But yes, about football, you know, in Jamaica, I think football is the most famous sports in Jamaica, you know. Like kids growing up, they don't watch cricket, you know, we don't watch track and field, you know, we more into football, you know, but football didn't get that establishment outside of Jamaica, you know, but inside Jamaica, football is more a famous sports than cricket and track and field, you know. Even the Usain Bolt and the Chris Gale, these guys before they like playing football. Like for example, for me, when I'm on vacation and I'm not playing football, I'm not doing track and field. I'm not doing cricket, you know. But these guys, when they're not in season, they're playing football, you know, like on their free time, you know. So you understand what I mean.
The Jamaican national team now is doing really well. Semi-finals at the last CONCACAF Gold Cup, and then you came third at the recent CONCACAF Nations League. You scored twice in a fine win away in Canada during that tournament. Who are the players to look out for in the current team, besides you, of course, and what chances of Jamaica qualifying for the 2026 World Cup?
Well, there's a lot of players, you know. There's a lot of players, you know, but I can name a few, like the people they know outside of Jamaica, like the Leon Bailey, the Mikel Antonio, you know, Bobby Reed, Fulham, you know, even Ethan Pinnock, Brentford, you know. So we got numbers of players, you know, outside, you know, and yeah, and for the World Cup, you know, we strongly believe we can qualify. You know, even though you got like in CONCACAF, you got maybe like three team who is already qualified, but you know it's you know how it's go with qualify for World Cup. Everyone you know give their all, you know. So it's not like okay, yes, we are sure to qualify, you know, but we all believe that yes, we can qualify, you know, but we have to take it serious, you know, not like to underestimate anyone, you know.
Well, let's hope that it goes well for Jamaica. That campaign is about to begin. Meanwhile, you came to Europe in 2017. I think I'm right in saying you signed for Domzale in Slovenia. So how did that transfer come about? What was it like moving from Jamaica to Slovenia?
Okay, how this transfer come about? I was playing with national team, but I was playing locally, you know, and I was playing with national team, and you know, someone they watch the national team. It was against USA. I make my debut, and someone from Slovenia, you know, they watched the game, but I didn't do nothing special, you know, but because afterward I asked the question, you know, what about this game that is this game is the game you guys see me, you know, and they said that okay, in this game it wasn't nothing special, but what impressed them the most is my work rate, you know. So yeah, that's how I moved to Slovenia. And to answer the question that how it is, you know, how it is move from Jamaica to Slovenia, it's a big difference, you know, like culture wise, it's a big difference, you know, like maybe like for 1 month I was crying, you know, inside the hotel room, you know, after training, you know, because I'm not used to like after training to my home. It's not like this in Jamaica, you know. It's like okay, in Jamaica you finish training, you have things to do, you can go with friends, you can sit on the roadside, you know, you outside. You know, when I come to Europe, it's totally different because you know when you're young and you move to a different country, it's much easier. But I was teenager, but I wasn't that young, you know. So it was more difficult for me, you know. But I try my best to adapt, and I did so like in after a month time I was okay.
In your second season there, so 2018-19, you scored 13 goals. Domzale finished third in the league. And that form is obviously what earned you a move to Belgium to play for Charleroi. So what was that like? Was that a big step up in terms of the level, going from Slovenia to Belgium?
Yes, for me it's huge because in Slovenia, normally you don't get transfer like this, you know, like in Slovenia we got like transfer to Croatia, you know, like Croatia, Bosnia, you know, like country like this, you know, it's not. And for me to go to Belgium, it's like it's it's actually a big transfer for them, you know, like for the league, and also for me, it's like a big transfer, you know, because we know about Belgium league in Jamaica, you know, and for me, this was like something, yes, a big step for me.
You found yourself in Belgium when the pandemic began. I guess that was a difficult time for you as well. You talked about being the difficulties adapting to life in Slovenia, but being in Belgium at that time must have been particularly challenging.
Yes, exactly. It was one of the difficult moment. Like mentally, I almost break down, you know. Because you know I was just inside the house and I couldn't go back to Jamaica for like 1 year. And normally I go Jamaica like 2 times a year, or maybe if I got national team more, you know. So it was really difficult for me, you know. Like every day I try to keep like a positive mindset because it was really difficult.
Your coach at Charleroi was Edward Still. Now, he's the brother of Will Still, who's the former Reims coach, so obviously familiar name to fans of French football. You had an incredible run of form at the start of the 2021-22 season there, and that's what earned you your next move to Spartak Moscow. So again, tell us about arriving in Moscow in the depths of the Russian winter.
You know, about this transfer, you know, when I wasn't, you know, I wasn't like, oh, I want to go there, you know. But you know, as I said, I've been of challenge before, you know, like mentally, you know, and I like for me, I think I enjoy this challenge, you know, to see how mentally I can be, you know, like how strong I can be mentally, you know, because for me it's all about you have to experience it to know it, you know. So like for example, whenever you experience something, you know, and then afterwards, you know, something else come up, you know, it's like, okay, I've been through worse situation, you know, so it's like, okay, I understand that. Okay, whenever like something different, like for example, I go to like a country, like for example, England. I know it's like a Jamaican culture, but there's a different challenge, you know, like football wise, it will be a different challenge, but not like culture wise. You understand what I mean? But it's still a challenge. You know what I mean? It's still a challenge mentally, you know, because it is different. It's different challenges, you know. So I choose this road, and you know, I think it was it was one of the best move. I enjoyed there. I enjoyed life there in Russia. It's really good. You know, even my family, they come there and they like it. It was really good.
But I guess it was a tricky time to be arriving in Russia because it was shortly after you signed for Spartak that, of course, the war broke out in Ukraine and Russian clubs were banned from UEFA competitions. A lot of foreign players left the country, but you stayed and you played in the team that won the Russian Cup in 2022. So what kind of an experience was that?
Yeah, as I said, we've been speaking about mental challenge, you know, because to stay there after all what you know, so you know the surrounding, the what's going on, you know, with Russia and Ukraine, you know, this is the next challenge mentally, you know, because you can't just say, okay, I will be focused on football and look past it, because it's not possible you just focus on football, because when you go to training, you just there maybe for like, okay, you go from 8 o'clock until 1 o'clock. But after this time, you're home, So it's like what you do on this time, what you think about, So it's something you have to acknowledge, It's not like you can play blind to it, So in this time, it was also difficult as well, But as I said, it's a challenge, So, but as I said before, I enjoy the life there during this time, the people they know exactly what was going on, but it wasn't a chat for a football player. We didn't get like restriction there, like we cannot go there inside the country or right there. It was like to be honest, it was like nothing going on there.
Yeah, of course. But then, of course, you had that season with Spartak, which went pretty well. You stayed until last year, and that brings us forward to your move to France. So the beginning of this season, just before the transfer window closed, you signed for Clermont on loan. Tell us how that move came about.
In Russia, we got new coach, things become difficult, and I was like, okay, I will stay, I will fight, and then things become more difficult. And, I speak with my agent that, okay, it doesn't matter. I will stay and I will fight. You know what I mean? Because I don't like when things become difficult. I just run from challenge that, okay, I can run from the challenge in Russia, but if I go somewhere else, I will face the same challenge. So I don't think for me this is good. So I was like, okay, I will stay there. I will fight. So my agent, we speak together and then we said, okay, the best thing we do is just to find where we can get more game time. Despite the situation what was going on, and this is how I come to Clermont.
Clermont is famous for the volcanoes which surround the city. It's famous for being the headquarters of the Michelin tire factory. Pretty famous for rugby. Less famous for football, I guess. What do you like to do in your spare time in Clermont?
Yeah, but I don't watch rugby, I don't watch rugby. I don't look for mountain and these things, Me, I'm just football. I like music, family. I'm just this, I'm a bit weird, I don't like different sports, I'm a bit weird. I don't like different sports, so yeah.
Do you find that it's a pleasant city to live in all the same? Is it maybe a bit too quiet, or is it a good atmosphere?
No, for me personally, I think it's a good city for football, I think it's less distraction. It reminds me of Charleroi, it's not somewhere where, like for example, maybe if you play like in Russia, for example, in Russia, bro, it's a lot of distraction. I understand, because it's good city, you got a lot of things to do. You understand? So I think it's good city to focus on football.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a difficult season for the club. Clermont currently still holding out some hope of staying up with a couple of games to go, but I think maybe Clermont also now thinking about the chances of being in the second division next season. But what have been the highlights this season for you? I know there have been a couple of excellent performances for the team against Paris Saint-Germain, for example.
Well, personally, I don't think it's the highlights. It's all about me. Everyone know the situation. Everyone know the situation with the club. And we as players and staff, we also know. So we try to change the situation. It doesn't matter. For example, what I do, what someone do individual. It's like, for example, okay, it's Clermont, but it's not like they will say, okay, Shamar, okay, you do good, or Shamar, you do bad. For the media, they would put that, okay, it's Clermont. So it's, for me, I don't think it's I can say, okay, it's not. It's also a bad season for me. Also, you understand, because it's. I mean, I'm in the team. You know what I mean. So whenever things go bad, it's like, okay, it's Clermont. You know what I mean. But there is. It's not just. It's not. It's, for example, it's not like, okay, it's players who play, it's players who play for the club, so he's, but I understand it's not like someone will point out that, okay, Shamar is, you know what I mean, his problem or whatever. As I said, people will say, okay, it's the club, but realistically is it's it's just the team all, what, and I said team, I mean like all with players, coaching staff, it's all, so I don't think personally it's nothing there to talk about me with highlight. You understand?
Yeah. Just finally, then we've talked about your journey. You've experienced different leagues. You've played in Slovenia, Belgium, Russia, now France. I wondered how does playing in Ligue 1 in France, which is considered one of the big 5 leagues in Europe, how does that compare to the other leagues where you've played? Do you really notice that the level is much higher here?
Yeah, it's a big difference. It's big different, like in all the aspect. It's a big difference, like with quality, with, I mean, physical. I mean, it's everything. When I play like in different league, maybe you got quality, but you don't got a lot of physical. But in France, it's really strong, like strong. You have to come here to play, and you have to experience it. As I said, you have to experience to know. You know what I said? So with me saying this to someone, okay, maybe they will say, okay, when I watch, it's not like this, but okay, it's different when you watch and when you play, you understand? So for me, it's highest. It's the highest league I play in. Like, it's big difference. It's challenging. Like, it's tough.